Hey guys, so today's the first official day of building Daisy's barn. Who's right here? Hey Bella. Hey Bella girl. Let's go over here. Another first today for me as the dad here. Stop. We actually we actually left Bella here for the first time alone outside. Can you just give me 1 second, please, to talk to these lovely people? We went to church. We decided we'd leave her out. Usually when we leave the property, we put her in the kennel and then get her back out when we get home. Just because I'm still worried about that low fence over there and we haven't put the invisible fence up yet. But today, she did just fine, didn't you? You stayed here. You didn't go crazy. Although, you can tell she's getting a little more comfortable here because she's doing some of the things that I thought she wasn't going to do. Like my straw hat with the Hawaiian print. It's now a visor. Here's the remains. My fault, I left it within reach. So last night, Noah had homecoming, and so Emily and I went out to dinner for a date night, and then on the way home, we swung by Home Depot and got the supplies, or some of the supplies, for the barn. We only have so much room in our car for all that stuff. So what I'd like to get accomplished today is the upright posts that are going to hold the barn up. If I can get those all done, I'll be satisfied. Came out yesterday and tried to dig some of the holes, and it was just a little bit too hard, so I put the soaker hose out here for these two at least, and that's going to make it, hopefully, a lot easier. So according to my drawing, there's going to be 6 upright posts, 3 along the front, 3 along the back, and then at the top, I will connect those with a 2x6 all the way around in a square, and then 2 2x6s across the middle ones. So that way I'll be able to put 2x4s all the way across the entire roof, which will then hold on the metal roofing. So this is one hole. That's another. That's going to be this far wall on the left side here. It leaves me enough space to put some stairs there, come out, have a gate to get around the front from the back. So I'm going to work on getting those 2 posts in first and then move this way, keeping everything as square as possible. All right, it's a few hours later and I've accomplished my goal. All of the uprights are in. So we have 6 uprights. We'll give it overnight for the cement to cure, and tomorrow we'll get started on all the rest. It's the next day, and it's actually raining right now, a little bit. It started raining at some point during the night, and it's noon right now, and it literally just slowed down. It's not been a heavy rain, it's been a light rain, but it's been a steady rain. Perhaps poor timing for me, because last night actually was Bella's first night outside. However, she doesn't really mind it. As you can see, it's still raining and she's still out here, covered in water, dirt, mud. That crazy girl. You're crazy. You're so wet. Ugh. Oh no, I don't want that foot on me. We had family over last night for dinner, basically to bribe them to help us move the kennel out of the garage and over here onto the side of the deck. Did anticipate rain, so I put an old card table in here to give her some place dry to sleep. But the way she looked when we got up this morning, I don't think she stayed under that table. You just like the elements, don't you, Bella? You do. So unfortunately, I think today we've been rained out from working down there. It's not raining anymore. I mean, there's a few sprinkles, but it's kind of more muddy than I would like. Plus, I made a really dumb mistake. Between the front left post and the right post, it's supposed to be 20 feet. Unfortunately, I wasn't thinking, and I measured from the center of both posts being 20 feet. Now, normally, that couple inches on each side wouldn't matter so much, except there's going to be a 2x6 running the entire length of that. And I got 2x6 by 10. So 2x6 by 10, 2 together make 20 feet. Now we have 20 feet and 4 or 5 inches. So either I remove the cement and dig those posts up and redo it, not happening, or I go back to Home Depot and get 2x6x12 rather than the 2x6x10. So that's what I'm gonna do. But just because we can't work on that today doesn't mean we don't have stuff to do. The cottage garden actually needs a little maintenance done to it. We've ended the summer season and we are entering into fall. There's a lot of stuff there's annuals in here that they're done. Like, look at this. This is a snapdragon right here. Sowed the seeds for that almost a year ago. It lasted all spring, all summer. They're a relatively cool season plant, so that shocked me here. I've never grown snapdragons in the summer. I usually plant them in fall. They grow through the winter and spring, and then that's it. So annuals like that need to be completely taken out. I am wondering about all the pumpkins in the pumpkin patch. I'm pretty sure they're all ready except for this one here, although this got broken. I don't know how much support it's receiving from this vine. I also noticed that in the flowers here, there's another big pumpkin turning orange. I might leave that vine for another week or so, but it's about time to get rid of the rest. The roses need to be pruned, perennials cut back. So I think today's the day to do that while we wait for the construction zone down below to dry out. I'm also kind of sad because these mums are starting to die, the flowers. Now there are a few buds down in here, but unless I really go through and take each one of these off, they're never going to show through the dead. And I'm not going to go through and deadhead each one of these little flowers. So I'll get busy on the cottage garden and I'll come back and give you guys a tour.
Well, if you're like me around this time of year, you've got a whole bunch of tomatoes that you're starting to get sick of. And you've got that random zucchini that you didn't see growing, and now he's ginormous. So I'm going to do a quick pasta dish using up some of these things so you can use them up. That sounded stupid. So I thought I would do a quick dish using some of this up for a quick dinner tonight. All right, so I'm gonna cut up my tomatoes and put them in a mixing bowl. And it's okay if they're starting to get a little squishy because they're gonna get roasted. This is a perfect way to use up those tomatoes that are starting to not look so great for salads. We're gonna turn on the oven for 350. Get that going. Now that we've got our tomatoes done, let's get started on the massive zucchini. I'm only gonna use part of the zucchini because it starts to get a little pithy. So I'm actually gonna grate this up and I'm going to make some zucchini bread or zucchini muffins out of this side. A couple shallots. I really don't know the best way to peel a shallot, so if you've got any tips, let me know. It's probably a good thing that I'm not wearing eyeliner because whew, these are potent. So a little olive oil. I'm just gonna drizzle around a couple times. A couple shakes of garlic, a little bit of onion powder. We like a little heat. So a couple sprinkles of crushed red pepper flakes, not too much. Balsamic vinegar, which is my favorite part of this dish because once it goes in the oven, oh, it tastes so good. A little pepper and a little salt. Just gonna mix it up. I think I needed a bigger bowl. All on there in a good layer. Oven. 40 minutes. We'll start the pasta. All right, so we've got our veggies now out of the oven and it smells so good in here. I wish you could smell it. I know they always say that on cooking shows, but now I really understand it. It smells so good. I went on ahead and I just cooked up some sausage, just some Italian sweet sausage to put on the side. I've got my pasta and one of our loaves of sourdough in the oven warming up. Normally I would put it all together, but since it's just family tonight, we're gonna let everybody just do their own. Some people like sausage, some people don't like zucchini, so I'm gonna let them just put their own together tonight. So let me know what you think, if you give it a try or anything that you would want to add to this, because you really can just make it your own. Let me know.
Good morning, Bella. Good morning, baby. Good morning, you guys. Thank you. Oh, thank you. You pushed me over. You're so big. I love those days in the garden like yesterday. It ended up being a really long day. The whole day, pretty much, from 12 to whenever the sun set, 6 something. But I got a lot done, so let me show you. It really doesn't look much different from the front. If I come over here, you can see I took all the dahlias out, well, down, cut them all down to little stubs. Now, if you're growing dahlias, depending on where you live, at this time of year in a mild winter climate that doesn't get much frost or freezes, you can just cut them down like this at this time of year, maybe 8 inches from the ground, and they'll die back, and you can just leave them in place. If you live in a place where it does freeze, you can let that killing frost come and it'll kill them down to the ground, and then dig them up, shake all the dirt off of them, put them somewhere dry and non-freezing for the winter. And then come springtime, you can bring them back out, plant them, divide them, get many more plants out of them. This is the bed here that had a slow start this year because there was a large stump, eucalyptus stump, that we had ground out. There was just way too much bark and sawdust in the soil, robbing that nitrogen, but it kind of caught up at the end. What I chose to do was remove any annuals that were looking bad. A lot of the salvias, which are perennial here, a shrub really, I just cut them back because I can see there's new growth coming out already. So just gave them a nice little haircut. I'll put out again, and you know, they can bloom in the wintertime here. I cleaned all the dead leaves out of all the bearded iris, and I actually found something buried that I didn't even know I had. When I sowed all of my perennial seeds in the fall, and then I sowed some more in the spring, I sowed some hidcote lavender. And that was the only one that the tray of hidcote lavender, not one came up. But then in this other flower, I can't remember which one, there was like a second type of plant in there. So I think what happened was I sowed the hidcote lavender with the other and didn't sow anything in the flat that they were supposed to be in. Right here is some hidcote lavender, and that's the only way that it could have gotten there. Some of the salvias, like this one here that still looked great, I didn't touch. And this David Austin rose right here and Boleyn, I did not prune, because in a couple of months I'm going to show you how to take a rose that's this like long and straggly, has these long branches on it, and I'm going to show you how to train it to make it just explode with bloom. But it only works on roses that kind of have that whippy, branchy growth habit. I pulled out some of the Nicotianas that looked bad, but there's still some here that are blooming. Pinks and whites, I'm leaving those. I've had an issue in this one particular spot in the cottage garden. It's like a dead zone. I first noticed it when I planted one of the David Austin roses back in January. It kind of sprung to life and then all of a sudden just died. And I've had nothing that has grown here the whole year. Here's a echinacea. I planted that at the same time I planted this one here. This is a nepeta right here, which should be completely bushy. It's been there for 3 months. It's barely, hanging on. And then nothing in this area, not even these Chinese foxgloves, which have seeded themselves all over the place and have kind of taken over. I ended up pulling a ton of those out yesterday. So if you're going to grow Chinese foxglove, I like them, but they really are promiscuous. They seed themselves all over the place. They're easy to pull out, so that's one thing, but just stay on top of it. But even those they've seeded all around this area, but not right here. So I'm not sure what the problem is. I think I'm going to dig out a lot of that soil and put it out in the pasture area and then bring in some new and some compost just to replace that and see if that works. I ended up pulling all the weeds right here where the clover lawn is going to go all the way around. Probably the biggest change is the pumpkin patch. I know earlier in this video I said something about letting some of the vines grow to help some of the pumpkins that are still on there to ripen and mature. I decided not to do that because all the pumpkins that I care about, the big orange ones really, they were already 40 to 50% orange, and at that time they can ripen off of the vine. So I went ahead and cleaned out the entire pumpkin patch. So it's all ready for some planting. Well, not this side. This side is complete. Look at these berries. These are blackberries, and they've just grown through the pumpkin patch over the summer. So I do need to get in there and train those to the trellis back here, because those are the primocanes that will produce the side branches that will produce the berries next spring and summer. So I'll walk you through that when I do it. Did a little bit of pruning on the climbing roses on the chicken run. The goal is to have them climb up. There'll be a little bit on the roof here, and then kind of go on top of here, grow up the main 3 posts and across the top. And I'm even training some here on this beam right there. And then the roses will be allowed to go on top of there to give them some shade. This rose is aptly named Perfume Breeze, and it really does perfume the breeze. It is really a strong scent. So later today, we're going to go to Home Depot and get the 2x6s to replace these. Well, got an emergency, Bella? Did you expect me to follow you? You're too fast. Anyway, so today we'll be going and getting the 2x6x12s to replace the 2x6x10s. So in the next video, we'll be able to continue building Daisy's barn. Someone called it Daisy's Den, one of you guys, and I actually kind of like that. I actually looked it up, and they're called cow sheds. That would be the real term of what we're actually building. So I will look forward to that video. I will look forward to seeing you again next time.